studio when I got out. And so I had these microphones, sitting in a box, and the TLM 103 was, and it's a nice wood box with the shock mount and everything, and it was sitting there for, oh my God, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. So I said, you know what, I got the 7610. And I bought that as a retirement gift. I retired about 3.5 years ago, and so I just picked it up and loved it ever since. Been great radio. But I decided, what the heck? I might as well just hook up a little interface and get this microphone on the air and see how it works. I mean, I already owned it, so. And I bought it for a real reason, not a radio reason. So that's how I ended up with the TLM 103. I think they go for around $1,200 now. And I wouldn't spend $1,200 for a microphone for ham radio, but I already had it. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking by it there. G1GMM. I'm not G1. Good Lord. I'm not talking to Great Britain. Kilowatt 1, Golf Mike. This is W8BBM. Back to you.
Yeah, Pete, as it goes around next time, there's another station in there. I'm going to chuck it over to you. Again, the name is Steve, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. I'm up here in Vermont. So the other station that jumped in, coming your way, and good morning. And I thought, I get the numbers all mixed up. There's there's a Neumann. Don't ask me the number, the model number. I think that's around what, $1,200 to $1,400. Boy, nice microphones, man. But anyways, that thing sounds great. Just going straight. See, you don't need all this crap. This is like a horrid rabbit hole I'm in, and it's like a bottomless pit, dude. And that's funny. That's my background as well. Not that it matters. I'm actually sitting, and I'm pushing a live stream right now. And if you want to hear what it sounds like, go to my QRZ page, and my YouTube link is right there, and you'll see the stream. Give it an hour or two, and it'll render, and you're the first contact. And I just lit it up about 2 minutes ago, so you'll see what it sounds like through console. I'm listening about 20 to 3.6 wide, 20 hertz to 3600 hertz wide, and it sounds sweet. Anyways. There was one more thing I was going to mention. The studio. I'm actually sitting in the playroom, and I'm looking through the window right now into the old control room. I shut the studio down, and I did very similar, Pete. Very similar. I did a lot of local work. Did have bands come in from like New York City, Manhattan. Nothing major. A lot of original stuff. Guys cutting original music and stuff like that. Very small studio. Very. A lot of like small ensembles, sometimes acoustic ensembles. I did do some, some rock type stuff, and for the most part, I would say it was like small 3-piece, 4-piece, occasional 5-piece ensemble type stuff. Some country music. I don't even know how to describe some of it. I would say it was like a hybrid between bluegrass and I don't know. I'm a drummer and been a session musician. Not anymore, but I was from 17 years old up to about, up to maybe 2010. I closed the studio in 2010. So it's been closed for a while, and just kind of puttered around with my own stuff, working with a couple guys, just filling, cutting tracks, and, nothing serious. It was mostly for fun. I didn't make that much money doing it. It was just a good time, The other station, go ahead, grab it. It's K1GMM. And then hopefully, Pete, you can hear him, and you can push it over to Pete there in Michigan. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Steve. It's VA3 VMD Vito in Unionville, just north of Toronto. And I, too, am running the 7300 with virtual audio this morning through the 7300. And I hear Pete well, man. You guys are both booming in here. Actually, I think Pete might be even a little bit stronger there. But good morning to you, Pete. Good morning,
hey, everybody on the stream.
Steven, great to hear you, man. And you're sounding good. Just wanted to ask before I throw it over to Pete, are you hearing anything weird in my audio this morning? Because Chiquita and Cakewalk, I don't know, there's something going on here. Go ahead.
Nope. I do not hear anything. Typical beautiful sound. So, nope, it's running exactly the way it's supposed to. What's being spit out there, Vito? Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Well, magically, as I say it,
Glad you
I don't
better be
know.
working.
I've noticed the hardware input completely dropped a couple of times over the last couple of days, and I'm not sure if it's got anything to do with the buffer rate or the sampler rate, but I'm running 48 kilohertz, 48 kilohertz and 256 on the input. I did run it at 128, but I don't know, something just was having some issues, so I thought maybe I'd just bump it back up again. But okay, well, I did a reboot of the computer, the good old Control-Alt-Delete. Maybe that cleared things up. So, well, I guess we'll monitor over the next little while and see what's happening. I do have a phone call to make, so I'll let you pick it up with Pete, and I'll jump in here in about 5 minutes or so. I'll let you guys throw it back and forth. VA3 VMD, over to you there, Pete. You copying me okay?
Yeah, I sure do there, Vito. Before you run, I've talked to you many times before. You sound great as usual. I can't. I need the suffix of your call again. Is it BMD or VMD?
Yeah, it's Victor Mike Delta, Victoria Mexico Delta P. Yeah, we've talked many times, I believe.
Yeah, well, you sound good as always. I don't hear any artifacts. I don't hear anything goofy going on there. So, sounding good and doing a great job as usual.
That's funny right there.
No problem. Go ahead and make your phone call, and we'll catch you when you come back. But yeah, Steve, it sounds like we had the same type of deal going on. We had the studio back in, oh God, when did I get out? I think we started it in 83.
Hey, good morning, Michael.
1983, and then I had it for until 88, I believe it was, and then I got out of it because my real job actually was just really demanding, and I just wasn't able to spend as much time. I was traveling, and things just got a little bit hairy to try and do both. But I always maintain my friendships, with all of those people and that, and still to this day, I'm going to be 62 coming up here, and still have a lot of the same friends who remarkably are still in the business and playing and doing things here around town. So it was a lot of fun, and it was fun really making all of those acquaintances through the years. Kind of opened some interesting doors, not necessarily profitable or anything, but
I got to change my calendar, you guys. You see that? That ain't right. It's still in November.
A really, really cool part of it all. So let me see. What else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, we were strictly analog back there. Back then, we were 16 track. We were just gonna go to 24 track, and that's when I said, nah, you know what? I don't want to make that investment. I just could see the things were turning, and for me, as far as just traveling and I just couldn't spend the time in it, and it wasn't really fair to do that and not be part of it. So we were 16 track,
job, Glenn.
and
Thank you.
I think the biggest digital thing I had at the time was a Lexicon Verb. I think it was PCM 60. I think was the name. So we went from room sound to plate sound, and you could vary the amount. But it was a Lexicon, and boy, you could tell they were just awesome. That was an expensive piece of equipment when I bought it. I left at the studio and brought some headphones and microphones home with me, and that was it. Anyway, I've been going along. K1GMM W8BBM.
Wow. Yeah, they're like the creme de la creme, aren't they? Lexicon stuff. That was my dream. And it's funny you mentioned, I'll tell you what, dude, I was always analog, and then I jumped into the ADAT world, right? It was always 16 tracks, jumped into the ADAT 16 track, and then, geez, what were we running? We jumped into hard disk recording. We were running Cubase at one point, and I can't remember the other one. That's a Steinberg, right? Boy, it's been a long time. Cubase, and there was another one. I can't think of what it is. If you said it, I know it right away. It wasn't Pro Fools. We never got into the Pro Fools thing. But I'll tell you what, moving from tape-based systems, be it analog or ADATs or anything like that, I still have the ADATs here. I have two of them. They're worth about, what, $100 a piece, if that. Paid a lot of money for those freaking things, dude. And they still work. But jumped into the hard disk thing. You want to talk about serious duress, man. That moving into hard disk, I didn't know anything about it. And the guy that was working with me, guitar player and bass player, he was all into that. So we pushed forward into hard disk. And shortly after, I couldn't get my head around it, dude. Now, fast forward as I got into the hobby, I got into the SDR stuff, and then with the Apache, and then just, I would say, a month ago, I decided to try and do everything virtually using a DAW into the ICOM. And I had to revisit it, you know what I mean? So it was a learning process, and it actually is not as hard as I originally thought it was. The difficult part for me was the MIDI stuff. Working with keyboards, MIDI, automation, all that stuff, in the DAW, and then getting everything patched where it needs to go. Very different than analog. I'm a very visual person, and I like my knobs and buttons. I love my knobs and buttons. And the Apache, I have a Korg. You've probably seen them. It's called a Korg Nano Control MIDI controller. And good Lord, dude, this thing's got, I don't know, 60 plus controls on it between sliders, buttons, and knobs. And I actually use that to run the Anon. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't run the VFO, which I don't care about that. But everything's at my fingertips. So I have basically, it's like the best of both worlds, and I didn't know if it would be worth it. And oh yeah, it's worth it, man. Everything that I use on that radio is right at the touch of a button on my left hand. The AGC control, volume, you name it. All the different noise reductions, filtering, drive level, good heavens, dude. Band selection, mode selection, it's all right there at my fingertips. Just press a button instead of fishing around on the software. The software annoys me, Pete, to a certain extent. At first, it was convenient and kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm a sick person. I like my knobs and buttons. W8BBM, K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM, W8BBM. Yeah, I know what you mean. It was hard, and it still is to a certain extent.
Hey, Fran, how you doing?
Good
afternoon over there.
To make that migration, I was at an age where I was already, getting a little long in the tooth for, switching over, into a lot of the digital software-based platforms. And I didn't. That didn't look real appealing to me. But I'll tell you what I did end up doing. I ended up buying, and I think I paid, what the hell was it? $2,700? What? I can't even remember. But I bought a digital DAW, digital audio workstation from Roland, and I used that for a while, just on my own, just to do my own little projects. I was out of the studio. We were done. I was off of that, but I wanted to get a little portable studio. And boy, did I have fun with that thing. It was a VS 1880, so it was a little 18 track. And of course, I had the microphones and everything still, and I had a couple of set of cans here so I could listen, and I recorded a couple of CDs here.
Yeah, what you been doing for excitement, Fran? Been running any HF or what you got going on over there?
People. And I really, really enjoyed it. The one thing I will say, it took a while, the learning curve, to learn all of those menus and the multiple button pushes. And you know something? If you don't use it for 6 months and you come back, it's like starting over almost. I haven't used it probably in I'm going to say 10 years now. I haven't turned it on. I would be absolutely lost. I have no idea how to use that thing anymore, and that's a scary, scary thought, but it's the truth. So I'm going to I still have stuff on there. But anyway, the long-about way, what I was going to say is, boy, it had wonderful, wonderful, wonderful effects options. I had dual effects options with it. Incredible burb, incredible room sound, delay, whatever you want. It just was really, really nice. And I did some very, very impressive things with it. I had some studio monitors, optical studio monitors that were just
very cool, Fran.
And I did a lot with that. So. But that was a long time ago again, and it's just been a long time.
You all hard disk, Fran, using a DAW?
Anyway,
or are you
back over to you, K1
tape-based
GMM from W8 BBM.
And leave a little pause there if somebody wanted to jump in. Anybody's welcome. Anybody listening that can hear both of us, jump on in if you want to. We'll leave the light on for you as Tom Bodette. Tom Bodette, right? I think that was his name, used to say. Question. So coming from the studio environment, how do you think that thing sounded? Cause I've looked at those, and they're not that expensive. I still have an old card, from the old studio when it was up and going for hard disk recording. I have a 16, US, I think it's called the US 1641 Tascam card. Still works great. Runs only at 44.1 kilohertz, but works great. Very little latency, no noticeable latency. I can overdub with that, no problem on drum parts. I thought, geez, it would be nice to have just a standalone workstation. Just get away from this computer crap. You know what I mean? How did you think that thing sounded? I always wondered that, if they actually were worth their money or not. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I thought they sounded awesome. I really did.
Hey, Ed. How's it going, man?
I just remember all the hassle, that we would go through in the studio, and just crazy things like, I don't know, punching guys in and out at various times and so on and so forth. And it was just kind of hard, to do it the old way, but that was the only way then. We didn't know any other way. And this just made things, a lot easier. There's also less clutter. It was just simple. I still have everything just the way it was, and it was just on a cart. I got it on a roll-around cart. So, you want to record? Here's your studio. Just roll it into the room, and I'd set some, if I needed it, some sound baffles up, but didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot. And I thought the end result was pretty awesome, man. I mean, it was pretty awesome, and if you remember back in the day, I think it was the band Boston, or who the heck was it? they actually released a recording that was off of a cassette little station. So kind of incredible. And here's my wife vacuuming here right next to me in the other room. I'm sure you can hear that. So anyway, it all depends on what you're looking for. I forgave it for any of the, I don't want to even call it digital artifacts, but maybe a little bit of the digital, somewhat hard edge and not quite as smooth as analog. But I thought all in all, it was awesome. K1GMM, W8BBM.
Boy, there is some serious QSB in there. You're probably hearing it on me too. Okay, so last question, and I'll end it with a comment. Actually, two questions. So if you can remember, sorry for the interrogation, but this is what I do. I am always interested in what people are doing, how they make things work, and blah, blah, blah. So if you were going to recommend one of those, I don't know if you're up. I am not. I have no idea what's out there. If you were going to recommend something like that, what would it be? As a standalone workstation. And you know what I used to have, dude? This was back in 1990. Oh, gosh, dude. Wait a minute. 1992, I had one of those Tascam 8-track workstations with a cassette tape in it. I still have tapes here from recordings I did. Surprisingly decent. I had more fun with that thing, dude. I'm looking at the tapes right now on the shelf. Hilarious. Some original music I just sat there, put together with a keyboard and the drums and stuff like that. It was a blast. Mixed the drums down into 2 tracks in a mixer, and then brought 2 channels out of the mixer into the little workstation there. So that's the first question. What would you recommend? And I was going to ask you, how do you get your station so quiet? Because when you're really loud, I got the cans on, and I don't hear hard. It's hard for me to hear any noise. You got the amp running, right? So that must be a pretty quiet amplifier. And that microphone, these condensers tend to be really hot. So I know you're not running anything like downward expanders or anything like that, but your station is very, very quiet. Go ahead, K1GMM.
Okay, K1GMM, W8BBM. Well, I've never been accused of having a quiet station as far as background noise, so I guess I'll take that. I don't have a limiter or anything. I can't answer that question. I don't know. Maybe it just appears to be that way today. But most people can hear the Henry running just a matter of, I don't know.
Yeah, I know, Andy. I just made a comment about that about 15 minutes ago.
For whatever reason, it does sound like the fan on the Henry is a little bit more quiet. Here, let me just give you some dead air and see if it catches up here. Yeah, not a lot, but certainly enough you should be able to hear some of it. So anyway, yeah, I'm not doing anything with regard to that. And as far as a digital or a workstation or something that I would recommend, boy, I am just so far removed. I mean, so far removed. Like I said, if I turn mine on right now, I'm not even sure I would know how to recall up anything that's there, any of the songs that are on the hard drive. I'm just clueless. It would be a whole new learning experience yet again. So I don't know. I wish I could give you more information, but I'd just be pulling it out of my rear end if I did, and I don't want to do that.
I'm back in.
I can't even recommend.
Gotcha, Vito.
Like I said, it's been all of maybe 15 years or whatever since I've even used it, and I wouldn't even know where to start again. Now I'm kind of piquing my curiosity to turn that thing on and see what's on there. Well, all right, Steve, I got a star here next to your name. Another recording guy. Boy, you know how many of us are on? I mean, there's a whole bunch. Guys that I used to talk to that were in the recording business. So kind of interesting to see all the ex-recording guys that are around. It's always fun. Anyway, I'll say 73 to you.
Hey, MMX2.
I got to get this computer updated here in the shack right now. I haven't turned it on in
Three Stooges.
I'm going to say 6 months. So it's got a it's got a software update.
You guys can tell me which one I am, Mo, Larry, or Curly.
So KG1
You won't hurt my feelings.
GMM, really enjoyed the QSO, and thanks a whole bunch. I appreciate it. And I will go to QRZ and I'll see what things sound like. KG1 GMM 73 from W8 BBM. I'll listen out for your final.
Okay, and Vito jumped back in. Very good, Pete. We'll catch up with you later, and that's okay. I figured you may know what to recommend. I'm the cheapest guy you'd ever meet, so yeah, there you go. And by the way, I could hear the Henry when you stop talking, but I can't hear it at all when you are talking, like a drone or anything in the background. So no, it's very quiet, dude. If you gated that thing, dead silent. Beautiful stuff. Anyways, we'll catch you later. Nice chatting with you. Hope to run into you again. And if not, have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And you know the routine, man. You take care. Put it over to Vito, and he can sign with you as well. He just jumped back in. W8BBM. We'll catch you later from K1 GMM.
Yeah, 73, Pete, and I concur with Steve. I don't hear the Henry when you're modulating, but when you're not speaking, it does kick in there. A nice noise gate would get rid of that for sure. But anyway, have a good one, Pete. Good to hear you. You're sounding great like usual, and 73.
Okay, guys. God bless. Hey, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And if I don't catch up to you before then. And it's been fun. Take care. Have a good one.
The voice of Vermont. What's going on? How was the weekend?
Okay. Okay, I guess. I'm distracting myself. I had to put my soft-coated Wheaton Donovan. He appeared on a couple of the streams, I think, in my lap. I had to put him down this morning. So I'm looking for a distraction, and this is a very nice distraction. So I had to say goodbye to him. Anyways, kind of a rough last week, very stressful, and it's over. And so I went out today, and I took care of some things that I've been meaning to take care of for the past week that I didn't have a chance to because of mental exhaustion and emotional exhaustion. And we're making tracks, moving forward. So I figured I'd get in here, push a stream, and see what's going on with the guys. And it looks like a bunch of them checked in, so it's nice to see everybody in there, too. So, yeah, what'd you end up doing? Did you work any of the 10-meter contests this weekend? Go ahead.
No. I had little playtime on the radio this weekend. I was refurbishing an i5 computer that a friend of mine, some of these guys, they don't have any patience. I said, give it to me. I could probably get it going for you again for $100. It was a good system. And next thing you know, he calls me. I'm at Best Buy. I'm buying this. I'm buying that. I said, okay, fine, do whatever. So I ended up staging his whole friggin' system over the weekend. And then he came by and he says, here, you take it. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the i5. I'm not going to do anything with it. So here, for all the work you did, just take it. So I worked on that on the weekend. And we had a pre-Christmas lunch yesterday in a family gathering. Because my mother-in-law is going up to her sister, so we won't be seeing her right on Christmas.
Pull us back a little bit.
So,
hey, John. Yeah, boy, that's a tough one, isn't it? The Apache or the 7610?
Kind of like a nice steak. And
at least they both have two independent receivers, which is really nice.
So I didn't get the chance to play. How about you? Did you do any 10-meter?
No, I didn't. Boy, huge QSB. You absolutely crushed it when you came in, and then you roll it. It's up and down. No, I didn't. I'm kind of frustrated, dude, with the whole antenna situation. I have a 15-meter loop I put up. It's got about 6 feet of 450 on it to a 4-to-1, and it loads up. Actually, I don't even need a tuner. Pretty much, it's below a 1.5. I think it's a 1.5 to 1 or less from on 15, 12, 10, and 6. And but I know it doesn't work worth a crap on 10 meters, So I'm really really lacking. Actually, I'm lacking. I used the 20-meter loops on 17, which is not really good. You can tell it's all screwed up. The 2-element loops will load on 17, and when I flip it, I can see it's only got maybe 3 to 6 dB front to back. So I know it's all messed up. It's not right. It does work. I've made quite a few contacts on 17 meters, but it's not really a beam. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it's doing. So I really need something for like 17 and up. And I wanted to work the 10-meter contest, and I'm like, I did listen, and all the stations I heard were like just off the noise. And I think I may have been a little early because a friend of mine, WT1B, I was chatting with this morning on 3615. And by the way, we're down there on 3615 in the mornings. I try to get in there every morning, but I've been sleeping in kind of late. This is around 6. Anywhere from 5 to 7:30 in the morning. I don't know if that's, I'm sure you get in there, no problem, if you're ever looking for some place to go. I was talking to Frank, WT1B, and he worked a 10-meter contest. He's in Florida, and he did okay. It was kind of open stateside, and there may have been some trans-equatorial in there later in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, but it wasn't anything gangbusters, Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, no, I didn't get on 10 at all, but I'll tell you, you're going to laugh at me, all right? But you know what I used from 17 up to 10 meters is my old Antron 99 vertical. And believe it or not, and I don't know why, maybe it's the length of my coax, but I have a better SWR on 17. I like 17 meters. I spend some time up there, especially on the weekends. There's a lot of European stations and a couple of friends out in Colorado and Arizona that I talk to on a weekly basis. But I use my Antron 99 vertical from 17 up to 10, and I'm telling you, that thing's a workhorse.
Yes,
and that thing gets out.
7300.
That thing gets out like you wouldn't believe, man. I've worked Australia with that antenna on 17. So for me, I find that the vertical works better than my NFED on the higher bands. I'm not sure why, but
no thanks on the DX Commander. Verticals don't work here, guys. They're worthless antennas here.
Might be even just a little bit better on receive, but that Antron 99, don't laugh, man. That Antron 99, I won't take it down. I love it for 17 up to 10. Go ahead.
That's funny because I got a friend over in Scotland. He runs an Antron 99 on 17, and he actually ran 2 of them. I believe it was 2 of them as a half square. And dude, that thing kicks ass. But he's out in the clear. Verticals work very well at his QTH. He's got great ground. I got terrible ground, and I'm in a 4,000-foot hole. Verticals do not work here. I was actually talking to a friend of mine. He's actually over in Michigan, and I was like, this was last week, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I should it would take me 20 to 30 minutes. I could throw together a 10-meter Moxon and stick that up about 20 feet, piece of cake. And I've worked one of those before, and those are gangbusters. They work really well. Unfortunately, I don't have an A99. I do have a quarter-wave vertical out there, which is absolutely worthless on 10. If the band's open, it's okay. But if I got to create an opening, that ain't going to happen. I played the vertical game here. They don't work worth a crap. I don't care what it is. Inverted L's, quarter-wave verticals, you name it. Angular radiation, completely wrong. I need 30, like we talked about this. But that's funny. The A99, oh, hell yeah, dude. They work really, really good. I think an A99, what is that? Is that technically a 5/8 wave on 11 meters? Go ahead.
No, it's a half wave on 11 meters. I'm pretty sure it's a half wave on 11 meters. But like I said, it's very uncommon
Negative,
for it
John.
to have a better
Negative.
SWR
No
on
latency
17 than
hitting
it
the
is
7300.
on 10 or 11 for that matter. I think on 17 I got like a 1.28. No, that's with no antenna tuner, right? That's just natural. And on 10 meters.
Oh, you're talking about, yes, SDR band, console. Like yes, there's inherent latency there.
1.3, and on 11 meters, it's 1.3.
Wow. Wow, wow. Yeah. So it's crazy, man. Yeah, I just had a comment on the stream. Guy's asking me if I'm seeing a delay with console, and yeah, I've been wondering if you've seen that. Watch the meter on your 7300. You're running console now, right? That's up and running? I take it. Jeez, I didn't even ask you. I guess you're all sorted with that. And the inherent latency with these SDRs, all of them have it. I don't know. I'm going to test this. I don't know what the receive latency is on the Apache. The Apache has the lowest latency of any SDR, I believe, out there. I've got that thing reeled in so tight. When I talk into it and I kick the monitor on, I can talk just in a normal tone of voice. I can just hear a little bit of latency. I don't know how many milliseconds it is, but it's there. But it's not like, you know how you get like a certain level, you get to a certain level of latency and you can't talk anymore. You kind of go, and it messes your brain all up. That's on TX, but I don't know about the RX. So what I got to do is I got two antennas here. I'm going to put one into the 7300 and one into the Apache and listen to the receive and see what the latency is on receive. But I was going to ask you if that's a point of contention yet for you. It's something it took me a long time to get used to, Vito, the latency on console. There's just enough latency to make working pileups a little bit of a challenge at first. I found when I listen, I have to actually watch the S meter on the 7300. So when I hear somebody put their call out and they've got a pileup going, and as they say Q or QRZ, I'll watch that meter. And the minute I see that meter drop, I don't listen at that point. I see the meter drop, I punch it. If they're taking calls at the beginning, that's the challenge. If they're taking calls right at the start, that can be a little problematic. Go ahead, K1GMM.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I did notice that. And, I was telling you I had problems with my drivers, getting everything going properly, but I figured that out. And but you're right, there is a slight delay. And I took what you said to heart by looking at the meter, and once you see that stopping, then that's your key kind of thing. So I have noticed there is a slight delay. Like if I turn my radio volume John. Up and then I'm listening on SDR console, I can hear it's minimal, but it's there. Like it's not delayed like a second or 2 seconds. It's less than that. The way I'm experiencing it, but I'm not running SDR console right this minute because I wanted to kind of I don't want to have too many things loaded. I wanted to see what was happening with this Chiquita banana and voice meter. So I kind of just put that shut down for right now because I don't want to be introducing. I want to see if it's doing it without having another program running on the computer, putting stress on the CPU and whatnot, maybe causing something funky to happen. So it's just my IT process of elimination thing. But the one comment I did want to make, because you mentioned this in one of your emails, you mentioned on the 7300 the link to remote versus the unlinked to remote. And just so that you know, I have it set up for unlinked to remote, and it works. And the reason why I have it unlinked to remote is because when I truly do want to run remote, I have to be in an unlinked to remote position. So I figured I'd try it, and SDR console works with that configuration. What else? Yeah, so it works both in link to remote and unlink. And I think you need link to remote configured on the 7300 if you're running like HDR log or one of those other programs. If it's not linked to remote, I don't think it'll work properly. Back to you there, Steve. VA3 VMD.
Yeah, VA3 VMD K1 GMM. That's a crapshoot. I found it works with some things. It doesn't work with other things. Very odd. Here's where you may run into problems. I don't know. Hopefully you're luckier than I am. I have only found one contest logger to work properly, and it was the old one. When they updated it, it will no longer work. The only contest log I've been able to run and have it sync to the radio, and this is the old version, not the new version. New version is crap, is write log. The radio needs to be run in link to remote. And let's say you have console running, so you have that logger and console sharing COM ports, right? Through your serial port emulator, whatever you're using, COM0COM or VSP or whatever you got going. What I found is very few loggers. There's only one logger I found that will share the COM port happily without creating glitches. And I'm telling you, they can be catastrophic glitches, dude, so beware. I've had the radio literally switch bands just sitting there with like November 1 Mike, write log, these loggers running. When it goes to poll, and I have tried everything to make it work, and nothing works. I can't get it stable. All of a sudden, you'll see the pan adapter flash, and it'll completely switch the band. Now, if you're keyed up and that happens, and you're running some serious snot, and that could be catastrophic. So just beware of that. What I do is I run now November 1 Mike. Theoretically, if you read, you're probably familiar with this, right? That's supposed to run an unlink from a remote. I believe. Yes, please. Okay. Lisa just asked me if I wanted some lunch. So that needs to run an unlink from a remote, and I have gotten that one to run with console running, but it still happens, dude. But it doesn't change bands, and it just doesn't change frequency. The pan adapter will flash, and it will zoom out to where you originally had it zoomed into. It's very wonky, so just beware of that, man. What I do is if I'm running the 7300 and I'm working an event or a contest, I use November 1 Mike, and I do not have it tracking the rig. So what I do is I go in, and any station I work, I just put the frequency in first, hit enter, and then I can put the call sign in. It's kind of a pain in the arse, but it keeps all that goofiness out of the equation. Go ahead.
Well, here's the good thing. I'm not running any loggers on my computer, so and I'm not a big contest guy. I like working DX. I like working exotic stations, but I kind of got all the contesting out of me out of the first couple of years when I got all 50 states and DXCC 100 and all that other stuff. So I've become more of a CQ caller, rag chewer, chase some exotic stations when I hear them out there. I like the only contest that I like is the worldwide CQ contest. That one I will participate in. All the other ones I really couldn't give a rat's ass for. And you'll find me on 17 during those contest days most of the time. So, but I'll tell you something. When I run RSBA1 software, okay, which is the ICOM software that controls the radio, and you can get pan adapter on there as well, okay? And there's two options on there. There's remote, and then there's just you don't click the button and you can control everything from the radio. So if it's in remote mode where I'm supposed to be using the computer to control it, and I switch the VFO around.
Oh, by the way, John, ONAEI, I don't have any TX delay. So I thought you were talking about RX delay. Yes, there is latency on the RX with console, but TX, no. So I'm not sure what that's all about.
Those whatever you're using for COM port, that the virtual port program is maybe doing something funky and relinquishing control for a second, and then the other program grabs it and changes frequency on you. But I don't think that'll happen with me because I don't use any of that stuff and I don't use any login. I use QRZ. And by the way, my sincere apology and ignorance. I'm so sorry for your little guy that you had in your lap. I don't think I said sorry for your loss. So I will throw it back to you, buddy. And I'm sure you have a lot of good memories. VA3 VMD. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, yeah, no, it's no problem. No problem, dude. You asked, and I wasn't going to dwell on it, and I'm not going to. But I appreciate it, man. Much appreciated. Thank you. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just trying to get multiple pieces of software running on the COM port, and I don't know what it is, dude. Now, when I was running the Sun, I run the Sun that runs on a TCI interface, which is really, really neat. That is about the only neat part of the Sun, the SDR2TX. That is a cool feature. It doesn't use COM ports. So you could stack 100 pieces of software connected to that radio and nothing will ever happen. But the Anon, it's kind of interesting. It's got to be something to do with either console and or the 7300 or both. The Anon, when I run VSPE, I can stack all kinds of stuff, connect all kinds of stuff to that, and it never acts weird. Just set up your serial port pair and off and running, baby. Yeah, and as far as the contest, all I can say is good for you, dude. If you could get that out of your system, good on you for that. That being said, I don't do a lot of it anymore. But I really do enjoy a select few. I really, really enjoy the QSO parties down here in the States. Those are a lot of fun, man. Because inevitably, I'll run into people and we'll sit there and yap for a minute or two, and it's just a good time. You've got your hardcore whack jobs that are trying to win something, but the QSO parties are exactly that. They're like a rapid round table. You know what I'm saying? It's like rapid fire. And you run into people and it's kind of cool. It's a lot of fun. I still enjoy those. Listen, I'm going to, I don't know if you're getting ready to do lunch as well. My wife did come down. She said, "Hey, you want lunch?" I said, "Yes," because I'm starving. And I'm going to run upstairs and grab some lunch. So, and I did hear, I don't know if it's console or my end, I've been hearing some glitches in your audio. Didn't happen with Pete. So Banana may be being a dink on you. I'm not sure. It never dropped, but there were some like clicks or scratches that would pop in there, and I suspect it may be Banana buffering issue or something's going on there. Just to give you a heads up. Most people probably wouldn't even notice it, but I know what to listen for, Vito. So anyways, we'll catch up with you later, man. I'll let you tie it off. VA3 VMD K1 GMM.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Somebody else pointed it out to me earlier today when I was on 75, so I wanted to just run plain stuff here and find out what's happening. I was going to try to play around with the buffer size and the sample rate, but I don't know, taking it up or taking it down, whether it'll make it worse or more consistent or whatnot. So I don't know. I was running at 41.4 way back when I first started. Then I heard you guys talk about 48 kilohertz and 128, but I'm running 48 kilohertz now and 256. So I don't know, upping it or lowering it, whether it might help or not help. I just don't know what to play with anymore. But we can touch base a little bit later on. I don't want to change too many things at once. I'm an IT guy, so I normally just change one thing at a time, see if it goes away. If not, then I try something else, because if you change 4 or 5 things, you don't know what fixed the problem, and you're back to square one again. So we'll catch you in a bit. I think Ed, NP2G, stepped in here. So we'll say 73, Steve, and we'll keep it warm for you here. If you come back, we'll be around. 73. Ed, good morning.
Hey, let me grab it quick.
Good afternoon, Vito.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I think Steve wants to salutate with you. Go ahead.
Okay, let me make sure I got it really quick. Okay, hey Ed, how's it going? Kind of light in here. I think he's stronger to you, Vito. Not a problem. It's just the band. It's still there, Vito. Oh yeah, it's definitely very noticeable because you're so strong. Try bumping it to 512. Pick it up with Ed. Have Ed stand by. See if he can. If you're strong enough to him, he'll hear it, and then bump it to 512 and see what happens. If that completely goes away, then run with that. That's what I do. I would go into make sure all of your sample rates are the same. The card's running at 48. Banana's running at 48. Make sure that's all. Check your USB audio codec. Go to advanced. Make sure that's running at 48. Make sure everything's locked up. And then change that sample rate in Banana to 512. And then get in there with Ed and see if it goes. I suspect it should go away. It sounds to me like it's the buffers. It's pushing a little too hard, a little too quick. Anyways, we'll catch you guys later. Go ahead, Vito. Pick it up with Ed there. And Ed, nice to hear you. I'll see if I can get back in here in about a half hour. K1GMM.
Okay.
Okay, very good, no problem. Yeah, I'll double check all those rates, and we'll double check for sure. Okay, no problem. We'll catch you in a bit. Hey Ed, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vito. Yeah, it's breaking up. I've done that myself like that. Listen, did you know that M Audio has a ASIO Yamaha driver?
Yeah, I think I'm using it.
Oh, okay. Well, ASIO Yamaha driver. I'm running an ASIO driver for Steinberg, so it does make a big difference.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go into my settings here, and I'm going to double check everything to make sure that I've got everything configured the same right across. So yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, too early,
right
Robbie.
Now,
nice
Ed,
to see
okay?
you, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'm running 512 9600 baud.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just going to double check here. Am I still talking? Yeah, I'm still talking. Okay.
Yep.
So let me. Oh, something happened here. Hold on. Okay. All right. I might have to reset something here. Give me a couple of minutes, okay? Pick it up. See if there's anybody else out there. I'm going to try something here, okay?
Hey, Ed.
Bye, Vito. No problem. MPTG. Go ahead. You know, the banana has gone rotten.
Hey, Ed. Ed, really quick, something happened there. I don't know if it's my end, but everything went sideways on you too. Really quick, you mentioned the ASIO Yamaha driver. Now, did you find that's not the driver that is on the M Audio site, is it? Is that actually the dedicated driver for the M Audio card, or did you find that in a different place? Go ahead.
I found that on the Yamaha, driver page. It had it for, I've ran it before on M Audio. It worked really well, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go check that out. See, that's why you open your yapper. I open my yappers. If we talk about this, it's because there's people that, find this other stuff. So yeah, I'll take a look at that. I'll try that because sometimes the dedicated M Audio driver, it's a little wonky. I don't know. Windows gets a little angry at it for some reason. I don't know why. So. We'll see. Yeah, I'll run up and grab some lunch. Hopefully you guys are around. And if you end up having to move or whatever, I'll see if I can catch up with you again. K1GMM. We'll be back.
Okay, yeah. It's there's also the YSUB V204 Win. That's the one that I've been using. The Yamaha Mabama.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. All right, man. We'll catch you in a bit.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, okay. I'm just double checking that.
Okay. Do you guys want me to kill the stream? Do you want me to kill it, or do you want me to leave it up? Because I'm going to be doing some lunch. You guys just want to listen in here, see if these guys can get this worked out, or do you want me to kill it? You're all going to leave when I leave. Let me know in the chat, please.
Setting here.
Yeah, I think I might bump it up to 512 because I'm hearing something now. I don't know if you're hearing it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's doing it.
Okay, let me shut this down. And, oh, you know what? I'm running another program here. I'm wondering whether I should close this, because that could be causing it, man. I should check my CPU. Let's see, is it doing it? Let me shut this down. I should just get a computer that all it runs is Chiquita. But then now I got to throw another computer in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I want to go down that path?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay, I'll leave it running. If you guys are still around like a half hour, I'm going to go up and do some lunch. We'll catch you in a bit. I'm going to pull the volume back a little bit in case one of the band really goes open. It doesn't crush everything. All right? And if everybody vacates before I get back, 7-3, have fun. There's the wife stomping on the floor. We'll see you in a bit. Nice to see everybody. K1GMM. It's the lunatic in the hole.
Sorry about that. I'm off and running again. Back to here. Okay, the only place I see that it's 512 and 512 changing is besides you have to change it on your device with the little M audio program that runs it. You know, turn it off and change it on the device. That's where one of the buffers changes. The other buffer changes on the banana under menu. Okay. PA3ACO, NP2G, are you Bach?
Okay, I'm back. So under banana, under where? Under menu, under where? Where is it? I see sample rate. Where's the where is the other stuff?
Menu, system settings, and there's your buffers. And it'll show you on the output device that it's buffered where it belongs.
Are you talking voice meter or banana?
The banana.
Okay, yeah. It looks like by default it changed it to 512 here for me. I didn't have to change it. It picked up the buffer size.
Wow. And your M audio gets controlled by that M audio controller that I couldn't find, but I had to reload to make it work.
Yeah, it looks like when I made the change on the hardware on the M audio device, you know, I used the program, the M audio control program. When I go into banana, it's already showing. It looks like it's in port 1. It's the KS Audio Air 192.4, and everything looks like it's. Oh, why is the second port my defaulting at 1024? That's weird. That's the input coming from my codec. I wonder where it's picking that up from. I should take a look at that. Okay. But the M audio is 512. What else? Buffering 512. Yeah. So I'm running 48 kilohertz and 512.
Oh, there you go. You want to sound better, run 98.
98?
96, excuse me.
96?
Yeah, that's super duper size. So that's what I'm running right now.
Okay, let me try it.
Yeah, 96 on everything, and 512 buffer, 96K. It just sounds much better. And your M audio will do that. Will support it. NP2G for ID. Let me make sure this is working. Okay, everything is cool. NP2G standing by. Hello. Hey, Flea Power Man. Or as we affectionately call it, QRPP power. Amazing. You sound good, by the way. Even QRP.
All right. Well, now I got some fire in the bar.
It's a little distorted.
Really? No, that's not interesting.
And you went and got really wide.
Well, let me put my glasses on and see what's going on here. Oh, I know what happened.
Yeah, you're all the way up to 165.
All right. Is this hey, hello. Is this any better?
Oh God, yeah.
I got this crazy problem when the PC goes to sleep and then it wakes up. You have to reboot. Thetis.
Can you believe that? That's amazing. Well, can you tell it not to go to sleep?
Well, I can. Okay, I guess I got to go off and do that to keep the PC alive or something like that.
Yeah, because it's probably doing something bizarre. You know, the IQ is running, so it's feeding information to somewhere.
Well, something, okay, but it gets confused big time.
Yeah, we've got Vito out there too, VA3ACO, and he just switched his baud rate. Hopefully, I didn't mislead him. And I was running my M audio that I have here at 96 or 92, whatever it is, K-baud. So I think he should be able to do that.
Yeah, what was he running it at?
48. Well, he was 41.4, whatever the default is on the low guy. But you might as well go to 96, because 92 or 96, whatever it happens to be, because it really is high fidelity the way, with the extra bits in there. It gives you lots more resolution on the computer.
Yeah, but as long as everybody matches, that's the thing that's important, okay? Because if one is sampled considerably lower than the other one that it's handing off to, I think it makes the buffer go cuckoo. Not sure, but I'm pretty much convinced that it does.
I'm thinking that it does too, but no big deal. It'll do it. What the hell, man?
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
Oh, something happened to your audio. I don't know. Maybe it's me?
I'm
Yeah, I
moving
think it's
around.
you,
Maybe
'cause that
it's
sounds
me. I
good here, and
probably
you're
no.
gravelly.
It's okay now.
Yeah, my codec will not support 96. It supports 44.1, 48, and 11.25, which is dictation quality.
You've got that the dropouts too. Joe's in K1WPO. He's in there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is it dropping out?
Oh, Vito, do you hear me? Over.
Yep. Are you copying me, Joe?
Yes, I am. I'm copying you fine. Okay, treetop tall and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I can run is 48, Ed, because the codec drivers on the 7300 support 44.1, 48, and then 11.025. I don't know why they don't support 96, but I don't know, weird.
Okay, well, at least you found that out, because this guy will go everywhere. It goes anywhere, and the 96K baud is the functionality of running it into Pro Tools, so that's what's happening there. So what's your buffer size now? Did you make it 512?
Yeah, but I'm not synced. The sample rate is 96 everywhere except for the codec cards, which is a 7300. So that might not be a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
So let me drop back to 48 kilohertz and a buffer
too.
size of 512.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, it's digitizing on you, Vito. Every now and then it takes a few sniblets.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to figure out what's going on. So let me just put everything back to where it should be, I think.
Well, I just got done doing my Amazon returns. Oh, hang on, phone call. I'll be back.
Okay, Joe. Yes, NP2G standing by. Hello, radio.
Hello.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Kilo Bravo 1, Fox X-ray.
KB1FX, how you doing? NP2G with VA3ACO and K1WPO. My name is Ed, Echo Delta. How you making out?
Hi, Ed. Oh, my God, I can't write that fast. Oh, geez. My name is Mike. I'm located just outside Boston. How are you doing?
Okay, Mike, I'll slow down. VA3ACO, his name is Vito. He's playing around with some digitizing audio. K1WPO was on a little bit, but I think he had to make a telephone call to Amazon. They were repossessing his recent orders. So, KB1FX and the group NP2G.
Yeah, I hope he didn't get like a voicemail saying, call this number, we need your account number. I hope it's not one of those things.
Oh, God, yeah, that would do it. My wife's cousin got that, and I think they bought massages in Thailand for about 800 people.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't had anything bizarre, but I do get weird, emails and phone calls every now and again. My father gets them for Amazon all the time, and he laughs because I don't have an Amazon account. discount, but apparently my packages are being sent everywhere.
Oh yeah, these are sleazebags that are out there trying to get you. Rape and pillage, man. No, there is no consequences. Nobody wants to hunt them down and bury them.
Yeah, that takes a lot of man hours when you really think about it. When you look at the ham radio, and if you want to do some fox hunting on somebody, sometimes it's not as easy as you think it should be.
Well, it should be used all the time. I would hope that they said, all right, we're not going to do it anymore. Police yourself. So that would be cool. I would go for that.
Definitely a lot less paperwork.
Absolutely. And just hook them up to the bumper hitch of the car and drag them over to the magistrate.
Oh, no, that requires paperwork. No. There's better ways to deal with that, I'm sure. But can't get into that on the air.
Well, if you're dragging them, I think I would choose about 800 miles.
There you go. Take him to visit the one in the Dakotas. Yeah, that's it.
So what kind of equipment you're running?
I'm running a Flex 6600M, 100 watts into an end-fed, 40 through 10 end-fed, up around 30 feet.
Oh, very good. You have the F radio. We have the A radio here, a non.
That's it. I'm very happy. I just got this a couple of months ago. I had a TS2000. I really haven't done a lot of HF, the last few years. I don't have anything logged. And so I decided I want to get back into it at the time. And, I got one of these, and actually was shipped within 3 weeks of ordering it. And I've been having a lot of fun with it since I got it. I think I have like 500 contacts now.
Oh, congratulations. That's wonderful.
I was going through some of my old QSL cards, and I remember I sent out like 200 QSL cards, and I think I got like 30 in return. So definitely a no-win situation on that front.
Yeah, I guess that's a little bit harsh anymore. And the EQSLs used to be pretty easy to get.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I did the logbook of the world and all that. I was just looking at, the stuff from the mid 2000s, 2010. I'm looking through my little pile and, how many cards. I started out with a box of 500, and and it's like made a big dent in that box, but I have a small pile in return. That was before the EQSLs and all them.
And let me see if Vito, you back? NP2G. See, he's gone native on us. He's trying to go to get his Kodak working with the digitizers that he's running. So, and Joe, are you back? Yeah, Joe is being harassed by, that wonderful mechanism that sells us stuff.
I use Amazon. I like it. There is definitely pros and cons. With using them, etc. I've had weird things happen. Nothing drastic, but I was listening to that. That audio definitely sounded funky. It was like, right when his signal was dropping, his audio got weird.
I think his audio has always been weird like that. It just digitizes and it spills out digital bits rather than audio. So that's what he's trying to cure.
And so my question is, why is he going digital to begin with?
Oh, I can tell you that in about 5 seconds. Ready? Here we go. It is the absolute cleanest way to go and produce audio into your radio. If you have a preamp and a microphone, you run it into the radio, and then that's one level. Then you can go and run your microphone into a digitizer and have it digitally delivered into your radio. It's a far less noise, much cleaner, really, really nice audio.
Yeah, okay. So it's kind of like probably look on, maybe I don't have this right in my brain, but it's like trying to run P25 and then have it converted and going out over the air perfectly.
Well, some people they don't have P25s. They have other things. And the idea is to, if you want the last couple of percent, you got to work at it, And that's really one of the things that occur in this type of radio hobby is the, preamp into the back of the radio, make up, on your line side, make up the preamp noise. You've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that in there, which is fine. And that's about, let's give it a number. It really isn't this. Let's say it's 90%. And you can go and digitize it, and you're going to go 98%.
That's not too shabby. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I'm overly into it. I want my audio to sound good, but I'm not trying to, sound like the sports talk radio station either.
Yeah, NP2G. Well, I don't think that's necessary either. You can't really change what you sound like, but you can change the quality.
Well, I agree with that. Sometimes it gets really, really funky. Like this one isn't too bad. I have a Heil mic on this, and I ran the Heil mic on my 2000 as well, but like the MC60 that I had at one point, it worked, but it really didn't sound that great.
Okay. I haven't used one of those, but see, the basic problem is that whatever your mic produces, okay, as analog sound or analog voltages, whatever that produces, that's what you're limited to. That's it. And now my microphone makes an analog signal, sends it into a digital, into the digital realm. But that's what it hears, what it reproduces. That's it. So if your microphone doesn't reproduce some of the sounds that your voice will make, or there's a little bump somewhere on your profile on the microphone, and then you have to EQ it, I can understand that craziness. And that's see, I'm not running any EQ at all.
No, your audio sounds very good. No complaints at all. Yet the other one, like the gentleman, was weird. It had that little digital around the edges. It was probably, I think somebody described that, and that pretty much fits the description. But yeah, it's amazing. Some of the people that are out here that are incredible stations. They sound really, really good. There's a couple of people down in Texas. My God, they have incredible audio and signals.
Well, the idea is you think about it, it's the only thing that you can offer on sideband to, make yourself unique. Not different sounding audio, but nicer, more pleasant sounding audio, cleaner, more articulate, sparkly, whatever adjective you want to use for that, you can do. And, that's like, I can do the same conversation in CW. Okay, here we go. So it's what you want.
Yep, well, I agree. And besides, if you have something that's pleasant to listen to, people actually want to talk to you for a few more minutes. Whereas, you're 5'9" here, 73 type of QSO, and I hate that. I'm not a contester.
Yeah, NP2G for that. I agree. There you go. And the actual event is, I run CW quite a bit of the time. And when I do that, I use a keyboard. Now, why would I use a keyboard? It's electronic CW. It's got the perfect spacing, the perfect caricature. It delivers the dots and the dashes at the right spacing and the right timing mechanism on it. So I improve my QSO, communications by doing that. It's the same thing with a mic.
Oh, yeah. Nope, I agree. I never, I had to pass CW when I was first licensed, but it was only 5 words a minute.
Okay.
I actually have one CW contact with a gentleman in Chicago, and he was very, very patient. He was very good to me, and he even sent me a certificate for first CW QSO with, this is pretty decent. I thought that was good. it was very good of him. And I haven't tried since. I just can't. I'm still on the, instead of trying to form the word in my head, I'm still trying to figure out that, okay, that's a D, that's a T, going that route. That's not going to work, as you know.
Wait a minute, Vito's back. Go ahead, Vito.
Yeah, okay, I'm back, Ed. I don't think 96 liked 96 because I was limited, I think, on the codec, so I had to change everything back.
Are you at 48 now?
Yeah, I'm at 48 and 512.
Well, it seems like that's made a big difference because you're not breaking up, you're not digitizing yourself, letting it bleed through,
Yeah, I just want to check one other setting because I'm looking at my voice meter aux inputs on the computer, and it's showing 44,100. But when I see it on here, it's showing 48, so I don't understand. The computer's showing 48 or 44, so maybe I need to change that too.
Everything's got to be the same. KB1FX is there. Mike, can you hear Vito?
I can. Yeah, it definitely made a big difference with the change you made. Name here is Mike up near Boston.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Yeah, well, I'm just going to try to see if I can check this other stuff here and make sure everything's on the same page. So hopefully by doing what I'm doing, it'll put everything on the same sample rate. And it looks like everything's on the same sample rate now, so I guess we'll have to monitor it. Let me know, guys, if you hear anything weird.
So far, so good, Vito.
Yep,
okay,
sounds good to me.
I'm just going to go in and double check all my settings again. So I'll let you guys get back to it back and forth, and I'll jump in as soon as I'm done. I just don't want to lose my train of thought.
Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, that made a big difference. Yeah, maybe what it was trying to do with the different sampling rate, didn't know what to do with the extra digits.
Well, Banana is crazy. It's what we're doing is he's running the same thing I'm running, except a different radio, and I need a intermediate mixer, like an audio mixer, so they run what they call voice meter Banana. So I feed my input and outputs are controlled by the voice meter Banana, which does a little bit of bit changes here and there. You can do that, but it works much better when it goes, the same baud rate all the way through. So I don't know if there's another station in there. Joe, are you back? NP2J? Nope. Okay, Mike, pick her up.
Hold, and his call is important to them.
Say what? I missed it. I was transmitting at the same time you were talking.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, I try not to double, but it seems to happen. More than I would like. Anyways, I said, it's like he's getting the recording. Please hold on. Your call is important to us.
I like to push 1 if you want English, push 2 if you want Chinese, push 3 if you want Ethiopian. So I push 3, and then it'll talk to me that way, and they'll say, I say, excuse me, I don't understand. Excuse me, I don't understand. So somebody will finally get on the phone. Well, what did you do? What are you choosing? I said, well, it gave me that choice, so I figured I'd pick it.
I never thought about that one. That seems like a nice little go around.
Yeah, and I usually do that at the grocery stores too. When they have, pick, Spanish, English, I'll always pick Spanish, and I can't speak a word of Spanish.
I retired from the transit authority, and like 15 years ago, they started doing these. You get your ticket through a computer screen, the machine, right there at the stations, and you could choose a few different languages depending on where the station was. And I don't speak Spanish. My wife does. And, we were there one night, and, she looked at the Spanish side, and she was like, that is absolutely horrible Spanish. A high school kid could have done better than that.
I can believe that. Well, I only pick it because it's there, and I figure, what the hell? And they'll say, don't you understand? I'll say, no, I don't speak Spanish. Well, why'd you pick it? Because it's an option. You shouldn't, you give me English, baby.
There you go. Mess with the system. That's the best way to play with it.
Yeah, there you go. I had fun with that. I've had fun multiple times. I did work in Asia, and I had to go and get a bank transfer. Now, if you've ever tried to translate a touchpad, a 10-button or 12-button touchpad into numeric touchpad for an English version, you want to try that.
I can't say that I have, and you would figure, well, one should be one, but apparently not.
No, they don't. They spell it, so it's not one. It's some sort of Cantan little gizmo, like a guy holding his middle finger up. That's one, that kind of a thing. That's what it's a drawing. So then two is even worse. So that's what I ended up with. I went, oh man, this. I'm trying to put my passcode in to get the money transferred to their bank account so I can go and take it out and party myself to death. But holy moly.
Yeah, but even though the character and the button is different, wouldn't it be the same location? Wouldn't one be the top left?
Nope.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Actually, it was the top right. It was where the one lived. They write it backwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just like, well, this is where one usually is, and 6 should be here. Here we go.
Nah, that wasn't even close. I went and brought my interpreter down with me, and she was nice enough to go and to get an account. She sits in China as a infidel or expat or whatever you want to call them like that. You can't have a bank account, so it was her bank account, and I just put money into her account.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different world over there. That's for sure. I've never been. I wouldn't mind going there, but it's not exactly on my bucket list.
Well, I was working there, so it was no big deal. Make money, send money home. Life is good. I felt like a, illegal alien. I loved it.
There you go. Not too shabby. I don't think I was on N2PG. This is Kilo Bravo 1, Florida X-ray.
Yeah, KB1FX and P2G. Yeah, you go the other way around with it, it was really cool. But it makes money. I don't care. Let's see if Vito's back. Vito, you back? He's searching it away. Pretty busy.
Yeah, I believe those banana mixes are very popular in the Flex world. Seeing different threads and stuff. There seems to be quite a bit with that.
Well, if you're going to use any type of audio equipment, you need some sort of a transitional, mixer. It's actually a bananas mixer. At least that's what I've been told it is. So that's what I'm using it as. You can set different levels. You can have different baud rates so that it can communicate with different events. Like I go in to the Steinberg, and from there it's into the computer, and it stays in the computer. It goes over RG45 into the program. Life is good. And in the Anon 8000 DLE, it converts the digital information into analog, and there you go. So the last bastion is as it transmits analog.
Okay, I'm back.
Very good, Vito. What's good? What'd you find?
Well, I just wanted to make sure I went through all the, all the drivers and to make sure that they were all set at the appropriate bit rates. And there was a couple that were a little bit, like the USB codec weren't set equivalent to the to what was in Voice Meter and Banana. So let me know if you
Hey, what's going on, Gwenda?
anything right now,
I don't think anybody new is in there. Just wanted to say hello.
Too much, or what's going on?
You're sounding good. No problem at all now.
Well, for this hour, anyways. I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah, you know what? When I was running at 41, I think 44.1, I'm not sure if I had these problems. But anyways, let's leave it here. It's at 48 kilohertz and 512. So we'll see if there's any anomalies happening in the next couple hours, and we'll take it from there.
It's working for you now?
I think it is.
Sounds good here, man. K1GMM.
Okay, you're back.
Well, let's see what
come
happens.
On. So 48. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you, Steve? When you're looking at the drivers on the computer, there's also voice meter auxiliaries and inputs defined there. Now, I noticed those weren't changed. Like they were still at 44.1. I just changed them to 48 just to play it on the safe side. Did you have to do the same?
Oh yeah. I run everything. Same sample rate. Yeah, I do that as well. You're talking about in the sounds area, right? On the playback and recording?
Yeah, because I never touched voice meter in and voice meter aux, right? And so I thought, let me check that. And when I changed it and everything else, those were still staying at, for whatever reason, at 44.1 or whatnot. So I just changed them back. I changed them up to 48K what I'm using on everything else.
Yeah. I don't know what you think, Ed, but that's just what I found. Everything tends to play nicer together. They all play nice in the same sandbox, right?
Oh, absolutely. Mine's the same way. I set mine all 96 or 92, whatever it is. I keep saying 92. No, it's 96. But everything is 96 by 12. Everything except for buffering the MME.
Glenn, I was going to ask you if you bought a drill.
It defaults to 1024.
Oh, my God, dude.
So I let it default to 1024 because I don't use it.
AKX4ZC. How you doing, man?
Yeah, that's what mine says in
Would you just go up and buy a drill, dude, a corded drill? Good Lord.
1024.
Do you have any right underneath the output? Do you patch anything over to the input side?
You talking about on the on the main mixer panel?
On the banana.
Well, this is what I've done. On input 2, I'm actually bringing in the audio from the 7300. Okay, I'm actually taking that off the USB codec, and this might not mean anything to you, Ed, but it'll mean something to Steven. And so I bring it into a hardware input 2, and then I throw it through the virtual inputs, which is the voice meter VIO, and I select A2 on there. And now I'm able to actually
You better just go get a new one, dude.
Off the 7300
that would
with
piss
the little
me
tape
off.
deck in Banana, and play it back over air.
I gotta try that. Listen, I'm gonna have to go upstairs. The wife just got back from shopping, so I gotta see how much money I have left.
Okay, before you go, just give me 10 seconds of audio, and I'm going to play it back. You guys tell me if it sounds pretty decent or not, okay?
Yeah, I don't have the ability to record here. I'm running virtual, remember? I don't have the ability to record here. I'm running virtual, remember? Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I got that working, so I can actually... And I don't have to key up to play it back. I can actually, I've also, on that little tape deck, I on the right side are your outputs. If I just click A2, which is my speakers, and not A3, which is the audio codec, I can just hit play, and I can hear it coming back onto my speakers. Over to you there. Oh, geez. Not Steven. The other station. Sorry, was it Joe?
Mike.
Oh, sorry, Mike. My apologies. Yeah, over to you, Mike. Steven's just jumped in here, and let me know if anything's happening with the audio.
You're sounding good, and I'll be honest, I'm listening to you, and I have zero to contribute to this QSO. I don't even have any audio equipment or anything like that, so I'm kind of in the dark, but it is definitely interesting.
Just like talking Japanese.
Yeah.
We'll catch you in a bit. I think in a few minutes, my HR stomping stuff, as Stephen would say, is probably going to be pounding to go upstairs and eat as well. But I'm in here probably for a few more turns. Hey, Stephen, go ahead. Was lunch good?
Yep, turkey wrap. Low carb. There we go. Who's that in there? Mike? Mike, I don't know if you can hear me or where you're at. Name is Steve. Up here, southwestern Vermont, and the call is Kilo 1 Golf Mike, and nice to hear you. And you're better off, dude. Unless you want I don't know if you got gray hair. If it's not gray, it will be gray, and it'll be falling out in clumps. So there's something to be said for keep it simple. The KISS principle. I ask myself, why do you do this to yourself sometimes? But I don't know. It's fun. I've gotten to a point where I just stop tweaking, and I just run with it and let it rip. If something's really screwed up, then I'll have to get in there and fart around. It ain't like plugging a mic into the front of the radio and just grabbing the key, there's something to be said for that. But it's interesting. It's fun at times. Let's see. There was something. Vito, I'll keep it short. Once you get console going, I don't know how much you've messed with it. Boy, I'll tell you what, man. It is you won't be using the front end of that 7300 again. Not often. I'll tell you, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's so quiet, and you got so much control. Ed, I can't remember. Let me put it down to Mike. He can introduce himself to me, and I can introduce myself to him, and then push it around to Ed there. Go ahead, Mike, and give me your call if you can. Over. K1GMM.
All right, K1GMM. The call is King Boston 1 Florida X-ray, and I'm located just outside Boston, the town of Woburn. I believe I wrote down your name is Steve. Do I have that correct?
Yes, you do. Yep, you got it, and you can call me anything you want.
Yeah, Roger. And then you're sounding good down here. You're all, very good signal, very good audio. I'm just running 100 watts into an NSAID, so I'm satisfied with the way this thing's been working for me.
Yeah, 5 to 10 over up here into Vermont. Pushing a little bit more. About 400 on a 2-element loop. That's what's going on here, going southwest. And you are, whereabouts are you?
In the town of Woburn. It's about 10 miles north of Boston, right where 93 and 95 cross each other.
Oh, wow. Another short hop. Yeah, boy, 40's a freak show, man. That's not that far away from me. Southwestern Vermont, that's got to be what? 80 air miles, maybe, something like that. I don't know.
Well, actually, I think you are my first QSO into Vermont. It's one of those, you're too close but yet too far type of things. It's like Rhode Island.
Yeah, right. Rhode Island to you. Yeah, would be a little tight, a little snug. Rhode Island from me is doable. I don't hear Rhode Island in here very much. The only time I ever seem to hear them is on like a QSO party or something. I hear them a lot in QSO parties, but don't seem to, I don't know, maybe it's just a weird distance, weird path. I do get into, Connecticut is a little tight, even the coast of Connecticut, but Long Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, that's like the kill box for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Now, just looking on QRZ, you're 108 miles according to QRZ, so that's not too bad. And if you don't mind, I'm going to log this on Logbook of the World. And that would definitely give me Vermont, which I don't have yet.
Hey, absolutely. Your call was, let me make sure before I forget, Kilo Bravo 1 Fox X-ray, right? Is that correct?
You are correct.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I'll get that in there, and this will push up to LOTW, so you'll be good to go.
Excellent, I appreciate that. Yeah, I use I've used it a couple of times. I did it once with a contester, and he wasn't happy with me. I did Kevin Bacon's One Funny X-Ray, and he didn't appreciate that.
I think that's funny, but I am kind of warped anyways, and I really don't have a sense of humor. People are so witty, and I'm just not that type of person, you know. I talk to a guy on 80 meters every morning, and he is so sharp, and he is a practical jokester, a prankster. Just really quick, and I'll put it over to Ed. I was chatting with him this morning, and Lisa came downstairs, and she interrupted me, and I was chatting with Jerry of W1JWC is his call, and he's down there in Lanesboro, Mass, west side of the state, you know, Pittsfield area. And I said, well, hold on, Jerry. Lisa just came in the room, and he keys up the rig, and he says, hey, what was the model radio you got? You paid $6,000 for? And Lisa's standing here, and I thought, what the heck is he talking about? So Lisa walks out of the room, and I key it up, and I said, what are you talking about? I said, I wouldn't pay $6,000 for a radio. I said, you'd have to put a gun in my mouth to get me to spend that much money on a radio. And he laughed. He says, no, I said that for Lisa's benefit. See if I can get you in trouble. See, I'm just not like that. I don't even get it, Mike. Go ahead.
Thing of it is, as soon as you said that, I started laughing. You know, my wife and
Me
I
too.
kind of, she'll be, how much was that? And I'll just give her a look, and she goes, I really don't want to know, do I?
Exactly. I said that to Lisa. She didn't even hear it. She heard it, but it didn't register, you know. She's like, no, it's the other stuff that I get upset about. And I'm like, yeah, I know, dear. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, I think Ed stepped out. I think he had to go eat. I think he got called upstairs. I think he said he was going to come back. VA3 VMD over here. Very good. Yeah, I laughed too when I heard you say that, because I figured, oh, she didn't catch in. My wife would have been all ears. She would have been all over me like a wet rag, Steve.
Oh man, dude. You know, Lisa is like that. I mean, in the sense that, like I'll say, well, I don't need 3 rigs sitting here, and I don't. One of them's going to go, and I can only use one at once, right? And I'm not a big fan of redundancy. Having 2 full-blown SDR rigs sitting here there's no need for that. I know that I'm saying it's just me. That's just me. And she's like, you're not selling one of those rigs. And I said, well, you know, I could sell one of those rigs and buy an amplifier. Because this old amplifier I'm on, this thing's 30 years old, and it's got the original tube in it. She's going to give up the ghost at something. Maybe not, but it's old. And she's like, no, you use all of them. I said, well, yeah, they all serve specific purposes. This is the 7300 I use a lot barefoot. The Sun SDR2 DX I use during events because it's got a really nice front end. I actually like it better than the Apache, the front end. The AGC is worthless on it, but it's a very good receiver, and it's very quiet, you know, kind of Kenwood, has a Kenwood quality to it. And the Apache, well, that's my rag chew rig. But I don't need that, dude. What the heck does somebody need 3 rigs for that do 3 different things? You know, that's my point. That's just me. So she's adamant. She's like, no, you're not going to sell one of those rigs unless you can come up with a really, really good reason, you know. I said, well, what if I want to buy something else? She says, well, that's different. You know, anytime, like I had some extra cash just sitting around last spring, and I said, well, I want to try an SDR2 DX, but I got to sell something, right? And she says, well, what do you have to sell something for? Just go get it. See, that's the type of person she is. But yeah, other things, dude, you definitely want to. I'm telling you, I've seen her pissed off twice in my life, and you never want to see that. I mean, I was running for my freaking life, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if somebody else stepped in there, Steven, or Steve, sorry. I keep calling you Steven. I know you're Steven, but I hear you reference Steve all the time, so just slap me across the head if I keep doing it. But, oh, yeah, I'm
What's
the
up,
same
Steve?
way. And you know what? I'm the same
What's
way.
up,
I won't
Steve?
have
Yeah,
backup radios
Ed picked
or
that
backup
up.
amplifiers. Like a couple of friends of mine.
And,
my good friend Angelo, you've spoken to him before. ACO.
And I
VA3
mentioned that
ACO.
early
It's
in the stream.
backup.
I noticed
I go,
the
Angelo,
calendar is wrong.
when the freaking thing breaks, I'll go buy another one. Like, here's the cow. Like, like Sonny and the Godfather when he breaks the camera at the reception, the wedding reception, and he throws $50 on the ground for the photographer. I'm the same way. When it breaks, I'll go out and buy a brand new amplifier, radio, whatever. But I'm not keeping 3 radios here. I have a 480 SAT that I use in my SUV. If it happens, I'll use that for a couple of days until I buy a brand new one. And Bob's your uncle. I'm not gonna have thousands and thousands of dollars sitting around doing nothing. I got to bring them in line. I haven't run it for a while. It's this and that. You know what? That's just the way I am. Go ahead there, Mike. And was your call? I had it down here. I think I may have even logged it. Kilo 1 Bravo Fox X-ray. Is that right, Mike?
Kevin Bacon won Florida X-ray. And the kid stayed in on me. When Steve was talking, he was 20 over, and he fell into the noise within one transmission.
Yeah, you're pretty light to me as well. So did you say Kilo Bravo 1 Fox X-ray?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, I'll get you in the logbook here as well in Cures at VA3 VMD. Okay, well, pick it up with Steve, see if you're still hearing each other.
Yeah, right at the noise floor, Mike. Ben just shifted around. This is what it does afternoon. Actually, it's happening a little bit later. Sometimes it goes sideways around noon, 11:30 noon. I try to get in here earlier, but yeah, I don't think you're copying me very well. Go ahead.
VE3 Alpha Kilo.
They got the Alpha Kilo in here. Stand by just for a second.
Yeah, Mike, you're not hearing Steve anymore?
No, everyone's gone. You're the only one I can hear now, and you're only like an S5.
Okay, man, no problem. Yeah, you're light on me too. Okay, well, if you want to hang around in there, hang around in there. But it's the band doing its thing. Stevie says you dropped out on him, so looks like you two lost path there. So if you want to stick around, Mike, by all means. If not, yeah, good to hear you. Come on in here. We're hanging around here all the time, so drop in any time.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll sit back and listen, and I'll stay for what I can hear. I'll give you all 73. Thanks for letting me join in. Gave you one effect on me, quick.
Everyone's welcome, man. Everyone's welcome. Go ahead, Steve. Pick up that other station.
Okay, Mike, if you can hear me at all, 7-3, nice to hear you, man. You're in the log, going up to LOTW when I shut it down. 7-3, have a good day. I think it was ending in Kilo. Go ahead.
You're the first station I've worked with it, so it's not perfect, but I've got too cold out there to do some trimming. Anyway, name's Jeff, VE3 Alpha Kilo in Burlington. I wonder how you copy, over.
Oh, Jeff? Was it Jeff in Burlington? You probably got a better copy on Vito. Yeah, I copy you. Give me your call sign again. I'm not sure if you're the same guy I worked. He was just south of Burlington the other day. But good to hear you. Name is Steve. Right between Manchester and Rutland, Vermont. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I guess I doubled with you. VE3 Alpha Kilo. And name is Jeff. We're in Burlington. And this is the first piece of this new antenna that I hauled up in the last 3 days, so I was just wondering how we're doing here. Back to you. I'll get the call.
Oh, okay. VE3. I got a VE3 Alpha Kilo, Jeff. And pretty light in here. Not sure how much power you're running. I am currently, it probably won't make a difference. This says, are you talking north of Burlington, Vermont? Over?
Roger, Burlington, Ontario.
I thought so. VE3, I thought that was west. Okay, Burlington, Ontario. Gotcha. Probably too close to Vito. I got you in here. You're a few dB off the noise floor. I'm running 400 watts on a 2-element loop going southwest currently. West-southwest, somewhere in there. Vito, can you hear Jeff there? VE3 Alpha Kilo. Go ahead, Vito.
Yeah, I've got a light copy on him. I didn't quite catch the call sign. Are you hearing me? The VE3 station, give me the call again. Are you copying me?
Roger, I copy you quite well here in Burlington. It's Victor Echo 3 Alpha Kilo, VE3 Alpha Kilo. Go ahead.
Did you say Alpha Kilo, VE3 Alpha Kilo?
That's a Roger.
Okay, you're really light to me here. I'm up in Unionville, just northeast of Toronto, so we're not that far apart. Surprised 40 meters is even letting us do it. QSL?
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a bit of a vertical antenna and a bit of a horizontal antenna, so I have no idea how well it's going to work, but you're the first contact on it at the moment. So back to you, and I don't have the call sign for the other chap there, but maybe you can pass it over to him and I'll get the call.
Okay, Jeff, sorry about that. I should have given you my call. And you're about a 5'8", peaking a 5'8". Band's a little squirrely right now, so it's a lot to do with conditions. So take it for what it's worth. It is very unstable. The call is Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Jeff, over.
Yeah, Roger, Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Well, that's good to know. It's I've not had a lot of luck with other antennas, but this one I think has a G7SK in Europe, but in England. So I decided I would try it. So it needs trimming up.
Rui, I'll address your questions in a moment, okay? In this chat.
Making up for my errors at the moment. It's I'm gonna wait till spring. It's it's getting too cold out there now to mess around. But anyway, I'm glad it's working somewhat. I'll turn it back to the fellow in Unionville. I'll catch his call too. So VE308K to the Unionville station.
Hasta la vista.
Hey, I don't think you can hear. Make sure I got it. Okay, it looks like I just flipped the array towards Europe, and we have Europe starting to come in on 7157. Plain as day. I jumped up, I think, to a 5 and 7. So Europe is actually kicking my back door in already. So this is, what's the time? Time is, well, 2 o'clock. It's coming up to that time. Another half hour. Europe will be pouring in here. Jeff, I don't think Vito could hear you because he didn't come back, but I'm going to go ahead and shut things down as things are shifting around here and the band's really starting to stretch out. I'll say 7-3. Have a great day, you guys. And I'll wait for Vito to come back. I'll put it back to you, Jeff, and you can sign if you'd like to. I know you and Vito can't hear you, I don't think. But I am going to jump out of here. There's some things I got to do. And now that the band is shifting around, it's only going to get stronger from here on out. VE3AK, nice to hear you, man. Got you in the log. It'll go up to LOTW, QRZ, and all that good stuff. From K1GMM. 7-3, over.
Okay, Roger, got that 100%. You're about S8, S9 here, doing very well. And that's just... So, okay, Vito didn't come back, so I assume he can't hear me. And we'll call QRZ here. And at least we got this band. We know he's working okay on the antenna. So, okay, 7-3, and didn't catch the name there, but K1GMM, VE3 Alpha Kilo, clear.
Okay, Jeff, yeah, the name is Steve. Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. Steve is the name. And nice to hear you. Okay, put it back to you, Vito. Maybe you can tell me what you got planned. Sounding good. I did hear a few little blips while I was listening to you and Ed. So it sounds to me like you got it pretty much squared away. For the most part, I would say probably 95% squared away. And most likely, yeah, if that's the only thing you changed, is probably the buffer size. I don't really understand how big of a factor the computer itself is in this equation. My gut tells me it's not much, because I used to run Cakewalk on an old Acer laptop from like 2008, and it ran perfectly fine with the Tascam 1641 plugged into it. I used to record 8 channels simultaneously, drum tracks, into that and be able to overdub with no latency. So my gut always told me that the computer itself, this particular software it's pretty passive. So aside from the buffer size, I'm not sure. Just to give you a heads up. VA3 VMD K1 GMM, over.
Yeah, very good. Well, we'll figure it out. And a lot of the times it could be just bursts that happen on the network, or not so much the network, that might tie up the CPU temporarily for 100%, or it's doing something stupid, and who knows, right? Sometimes it's just a crapshoot, but I'll keep an eye on it. I'm just gonna leave everything as is right now. And I might drop it back down to 4100 or whatever the heck it was, 44.1, because it almost seemed like I was having zero problems when I was running that, but I wasn't playing around a lot, so I really don't know. But I'm going to leave it like this for now, and then I got a few locals here that'll give me some good feedback as well. If it happens, I'll just have to keep playing with it. So, hey, I always got the hardware box, so it's not a problem. Less than a minute, I can swap over to the hardware. But anyway, I got to go because the wife's stomping and I got to go eat. So we'll catch you a little later on. 73, thanks for all your help. K1 GMM, VA3 VMD. Salutations. Ciao.
Okay, yep, we'll catch you later. What is my signal to you right now? You're about 10 to 15 over, sometimes trying to bump 20. How much power are you running, Vito? And what's my signal report? And what's your power? And what's your antenna again? Go ahead.
Okay, well, you're about 15 over, and I'm running obviously the 7300. I'm running an ACOM 1010, just peaking over between 625 watts on the peaks here on the LP 100A, and it's an end fed that's sloping up to about 35 feet. It slopes from the feed point at 12 feet and goes up to a mast up to 35 feet. Over.
Wow, dude, I'm telling you. That thing kicks butt, at least between you and me. 25 over on that last go, the entire over. And you're not running that much more than I am, only a couple hundred more. So, yeah, that thing freaking kicks butt, man. It's working really good, at least between the two of us. You always have a good signal in here. We'll see you later, man. Enjoy your lunch. I'm going to clear out as well. I got to answer a question on the stream, and then I'm going to pull a plug. 7-3, man, nice to hear you. I do my best. I hope I don't make a bigger mess out of things for you than, like I always say, grain of salt, man. What works for you, if you figure out something that works better, run with it. What I do here is not the end all. There are a lot of ways to skin that cat. 7-3, man. K1 GMM.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, don't even go there. Your help has been hugely instrumental in getting to a very good working point, and then a fine tune, man. Holy jeez, you can't ask more than that. If I had started this from scratch, I'm telling you, it would have taken me 2 to 3 times the amount of time to get this going. So your videos are freaking just so instrumental. It's not funny. I don't mean to be patting you on the head too much, but I've pointed a few guys over to your demo on the 7300 comparison, and even for guys that want to run SDR console, showing them the step-by-step that you go through, man, you get that thing running in no time with your instruction. And then it's, you take off from there. So, no, man, thanks for all your help and your work. It's great for everybody in the hobby, man, and everybody has to fine-tune things. It's just the way it is, so. Okay, bud, I better run before I get the hammer on the head here. 73, VA3, VMD, we're going to QRT.
Okay, glad I could help, man. No problem. We'll see you later. And always looking for feedback, too, so let me know if you find if you got a better thing in that Swiss Army knife there. Maybe there's a tool I haven't come across. I'm sure there is. We'll see you later. And I'm going to go ahead and QRT as well. It's K1 GMM Vermont, 7-3 all around. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. All righty. Okay. So, Okay, so let me just pop into the chat quick before I rip the plug out of the wall. All right. First, Rui, nice connecting with you on the website. You only work a phone, I take it, sideband phone. Big issue. Let me get back up here. Steve Areno, hope all is well. OGS. Did not like the TX, so I sent it back. I can't, like I said, I cannot speak to any dongles except for, I know I have a friend that has a Hack RF. They are not cheap and they are superb. He told me, and I trust him. And you get what you pay for. A Hack RF is good stuff, baby. The only thing I have experience with is an RSP Duo by SDR Play and an ASPI HF Plus. I do not recommend anything, as you guys know. I can tell you the HF Plus, I believe, has a noise reduction system built into it. It's a very quiet front end. That's what you were listening to. This whole stream was an HF Plus. You can see the videos on the website, on YouTube here, comparing it to a $2,500, $2,600 front end. It's no slouch. It's pretty good. However, caveat for ASPI, and the reason why I call it ASPI is because the guys that run the place are a bunch of a-holes. Keep in mind, ASPI does not offer a warranty on their products. I know I have a, see if it's over here. Here you go. This is an R2. It is nothing but a paperweight. It has never worked. This is like a $200 freaking dongle by AirSpy. We tried to send it back and they jerked my chain. They would not take it back. And I have multiple people that have had failures with AirSpys that have sent them back right out of the box. Now, if you look closely at AirSpy's website, what they do, and this is what they did to particularly one friend of mine, it didn't work right out of the box. This is nothing but a paperweight. I've spent like $600 on their products. I'll never buy another one. Mark my words, ever again. So what they do is they get the dongle back and you send it back to them and they say they have to repair it because it's been damaged by something, right? It was damaged. And then it's brand new in the freaking right out of the box. And then they turn around and charge you to fix it and send it back to you fully working. That is not a warranty. Okay. There is no warranty on an AirSpy product. That's the only thing I'll say. Beware. They work great. Am I going to buy another? I've got 2 HF Pluses here. And of course this paperweight, which is virtually useless. Breaks my heart. But hey, live and learn. They ain't going to get me again. I'll tell you that right now. Their customer service is absolutely deplorable. Horrid. Absolutely horrid. So that being said, still like an HF Plus Discovery, very good. HF Plus, very good. They do have I think there's a proprietary noise reduction algorithm built into it. It's a very quiet front end, comparable, I think, to like a Flex 5000. Which is no slouch. So bang for the buck, they're really good. Just pray that you get a working one right out of the gate. Cross your fingers. Mine both worked. One of mine has started to show problems with mixing with very strong AM broadcast. They've never done that before, but I have one where I've seen situations where there's been some very strong AM broadcast mixing into like 80 meters, 40 meters, stuff like that. And that's usually a red flag. You should not see that on any of these front ends. They should function exactly like a conventional transceiver. Okay. And I'm not talking like AM broadcast coming in, being propagated on the specific frequencies I'm listening on. I'm talking AM broadcast mixing into other bands. That's something wrong. Not two different things. So, but I've had them for a long time. They're still running. They still work. And so, hey, do what you want, buy what you want, just do your homework. That's all I can answer. I don't want to hear another question about it. The only things I have experience with are the HF Plus and the RSP Duo. And I can tell you when the HF Plus goes down, I'm going to light up the Duo and I'm going to run that. The Duo does not have the dynamic range the HF Plus has. I can tell you that right now. It's not quite as good of a front end. However, the Duo allows you to run diversity. If you have any kind of noise issues whatsoever, it will smoke the HF Plus because it's got two independent ADCs, two independent front ends, which allows you to run a second antenna for diversity. And I can tell you the Uno diversity eats the Apache for lunch. The Uno diversity is fantastic. I have yet to have any noise. Like, I'll give you an example. My wife turns on the Keurig upstairs, and it must have some very dirty switching power supplies in that Keurig coffee maker. It produces humps across the pan adapter. It just trashes 80 meters. I can go in on that Duo, and I can wipe that out. Gone, completely flat without losing the audio. It's phenomenal, the Duo. It's not cheap. It's like, I think they're around $260, $280 for those things. Not quite as good as a standalone HF Plus, but if you have any kind of noise problems, I'll tell you the Duo is the way to go. That's a great rig. Very solid, never had an issue with it. So, and again, the only other person I know that has run what I would consider a high-end SDR receiver dongle is Rick, K2GB, runs a Hack RF. It's called a Hack RF, and those are killer. I know for a fact that those are epic, but you get what you pay for.